Peace, everybody. Dr. Ali is here to talk about some updates to our orientation processes in the tribe and to answer questions that have been asked mainly over the last 2 years about certain functions and operations. I am Chief Amaru Shia Ali, the founder of the Aboriginal Republic of North America and the Shia Amaru tribal government. And I have multiple hats that I wear inside of the tribe to ensure structural, ministerial, national functions for everybody that is participating as a national or citizen of the tribe. And so today I'm going to talk about ARNA, and I'm going to talk about the IPA and the different dimensions. This video will help you with your rites of passage exam, entry-level exam that you take just to get a semblance of, hey, what is this cultural revolution of indigenous American identity really about? And being as though we are the first and at the forefront of the governance structure of tribal government, then we have a plethora of experience that others don't have. And so you can get some really good direction culturally, business-wise, and many other dimensions. And so let me start by identifying where you should be going to contact us. Because one of the things that you will find, unfortunately, is that with any new, vibrant, trendy, cultural, even business phenomenon, there is the unfortunate automatic presence of scamming. And with that, you want to know where to reach, who to contact, what are the lines of communication that can be established to protect the integrity of your intent to carry out whatever business or things that you need to carry out. All right, so I'm going to go to our main website and pull it up so you guys can see it. This is the Shia Amaru Tribal Government website. And on this website, you can carry out any of the major services that you need to as a national and citizen of the Shia Amaru Tribal Government. Meaning all of these things that you are looking at right here, you can go and do. You can use the About page to learn the basics and fundamentals of how all of this came about. What does it mean? You can use the ARNA facts page to get the absolute socio-political, even cultural facts that you need to pass the rites of passage exam and understand how we function. The store has all of the products, services, courses, all of the interactions, purchases of books, products, etc. Application for nationality. This is where you would actually go to complete putting your data into our database so we can establish communication with you through email lists and all of those things. And also a jurist will be appointed to you to walk you through the nationality process so that you can go from where you are now into your indigenous American capacity and learn how to function on a daily basis with many, 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 many different advantages that you have there. The TV page just posts our ARNA YouTube page. You might see the Ghetto Scholar YouTube page or some other pages, but the main page is the ARNA YouTube page. You can type in on YouTube, Amaru Shia Ali, and you're going to see the flag as the logo to go to the page, 8-pointed white star in a black field, and you will be able to go there and see orientation videos, etc. If you want to set an appointment for any type of service that you may need, whether it be medical, advisory, whatever it may be, set the appointment, and I myself or another jurist or indigenous doctor or someone will get back to you and we'll have the appointment. And these appointments on these links will go directly to me. And then I'll either disseminate them or take up the consult, and that'll be based on the communication base. This one is super important This is official juris. I'm going to click on this so you can see it, and you can see the juris by region. If you are doing business with a juris who is not certified on this list, you are doing business at your own risk. You don't have to choose by region. You can do business with any of these juris. They are certified. They are their contracts are operational. You can trust them to carry out the service properly. And if they don't, you have the ability to put in a juris complaint, and we will rectify and solve those things. All of the fees for what is done in the society are publicly transparent. So a jurist cannot say, hey, I'm charging you this amount and the website says this amount. That would be a violation of his or her contract. And so we want to keep a culture of transparency, of honesty, and of efficiency so that we can continue to grow as a tribal community and take this thing to the level that it needs to be taken to. And that level is international recognition of our proper identity as a people, national functional interaction with our identity in the public space, not being associated with these neo-American Indians who are embarrassing our cause, and not either scholastically, culturally, or have the business etiquette to interact with the greater society in a meaningful way. And so use those contacts, understand that fee page. You can get the Constitution, you can read the Constitution here. All right, and all the laws, the statutes. All right, you can even go to ARNA.njs.org and look at all of the legislation that is passed. You need to understand the Constitution in order to enter the society, and if you are in the society, to function in the society. Aboriginal University, we have a whole website for that. It is private access after registration. Registrations are done through the various stores and other things, and we can work our way up to the top of Aboriginal University, which is completing a dissertation. This is what allows for you to go out and teach and really activate your entrepreneurial buttons. And by going through Aboriginal University appropriately, you can start your own university. So everything that we do here is about sharing. Rites of passage. Let me click on this. You have your DOS and your SOS manuals that you can read online. And you have your rites of passage exam that you can take. This is a requirement as you go through your entry. All right. And so business registrations, if you need to register a business, you can register it. You get a complimentary business with your nationality, meaning your first one is free. It is set up as a nonprofit or a nonprofit trust, a 508c1a. We have 7 different types of business registrations, really 8, but 2 of them blend together. So we say 7. And when you click on this page, you can read about those types of business registrations that we do and how to set up your businesses. We are setting up something very unique. We call it self-administered reparations. So an example of this is if you pay for your nationality and you pay for a course, all of that can be written off on taxes. Now, we don't pay taxes unless we sign up to pay taxes. With the types of businesses that we register for you, you will not have to apply nor report. But in the years where you want to do real estate transactions and other things, you can report. And you can report every year and maintain your tax exemption. It's just that you have to understand the juris procedures, and we will have a team of jurists right there before you who can do your taxes for you. And so if you pay for a course, that can be written off because you're donating to one of the various 508c1a nonprofits or nonprofit trusts. We all use these when we're doing business. This is called a tribal FBO. All right. And so You are going to learn how to operate business structure to reduce your bills, like property taxes, like sales taxes, so you can keep that money in your home. And you're going to learn how to write off whatever you purchase from other nationals, because in our circle, it's free, literally. We just have to understand how the business operations are established and then carry out the basic things like allowing a national who is a certified jurist and who's taking a tax preparation to do your taxes. All right. Wills, trusts, life insurance, estates, intake form. Everyone needs a trust. Everyone gets a trust established when you complete your nationality. Trusts are essentially wills. So we don't necessarily do wills in that sense, but we do or will do wills for people who don't understand the trust and estate structure that we do. All right. Everyone needs life insurance. You can get a whole life insurance policy. You can leverage the assets of that. All right. So that's more for jurists to carry out services. Genealogy record and ARNA genealogist. When you do your nationality paperwork, you have a certification that you are a pre-Civil War descendant of Black Americans. That is important. If you are not, then you belong in the IPA. The IPA is the Indigenous Political Authority that we use for other indigenous peoples throughout the Caribbean and other landmasses. If you are born in the continental United States and are a descendant of pre-Civil War Black Americans, you belong in ARNA. If you are not that, you belong in the IPA. There are minor exceptions to that because of what we would consider a grandfather clause, because we've been around for some time. But despite those minor exceptions, which we talk about publicly, it's not a secret. Yeah. So ARNA genealogists can do your genealogy. I don't care where you're from. You're from Jamaica, we can do your genealogy. You from other genealogy has been recorded. And then we're also establishing genealogy by keeping records, keeping birth affidavits, intakes, all of this. When you take an intake, it goes straight to our database on our servers. And so now we get to keep that record 15 generations from now. Your children can look back and see our records of today. And we keep public records as well within the United States of America. We're not these sovereign citizen anti-people. Like, we understand the need of keeping records. So we keep records in the United States and the United States of America's various 50 republics or state corporations as they are operating. It doesn't matter. We're keeping records. All right. Annual budgets is just what we spend money on, from the collection of dues, from the chief executive to the Arnold Joe Society to SOS to community operations to whatever it is that we are doing. All right, we keep an annual budget and we post these budgets here. Monthly dues, hardship form. Hardship forms are for people who are having challenges, who can't do their annual dues. Annual dues comes at an amount of $30 a month, $360 a year. And those dues allow for us to carry out services for nationals, events, whatever is going on. All right. Referendums from nationals. We have a very important referendum we're proposing this year for the change of the Ministerial Congress to the SOS-DOS congressional body. And referendums are for nationals to make national direct vote on a political issue. Nationals can present referendums, and referendums can be presented on behalf of nationals to carry out governance. And we have some of that going on this year. Passport procedures, very basic. When you fill out your passport, you now have your indigenous nationality. You're still going to fill out your passport. You still need a U.S. passport. We don't give out ARNA passports because we don't have ARNA embassies in other countries. The purpose of a passport is to protect you in a foreign country in light of some circumstance or situation going on, and so that you can move through that country. So as long as you have your indigenous capacity and nationality, filling out a passport to get and keep your passport and get it renewed every 10 years is perfectly fine. You have all of your indigenous American protections and American protections. So copyrights, trademarks, and patents are just services. And this login right here will go to a social media site just for the tribe, which we're completing. So these are all of your links here that you can use to carry out interaction with the main governing body. All right. And so we have other websites. I'll just briefly go through them. I won't go through all the details of them, but I will go through them. And these particular ones, all right, Aboriginal University. You can see this one. And these have all of the classes, contracts, NDAs, waiver of liabilities, dissertation registration, new coursework that has been provided. You see Aboshi there. The ECL Tribal Birth Ministry just also recently finished the dissertation. We got Just Solely Agro, Eco Agro coming up for the late spring. We got a lot of people completing dissertations now. We already had Kojo and Baak and others who did the group dissertation with us. So we got lots of people who have completed these things. And this entire Aboriginal University website is about their interaction, credentialing, coursework, homework reporting, exam taking, all of that. And so we do all of that here. And yeah, let's go to the next website. All right. And we can go to the Indigenous Political Authority website. This website is for all Indigenous peoples who are going to participate in our governing structure who may not be specifically descendant from continental Black Americans pre-Civil War. All right. But that's fine. You're still Indigenous. We're still going to make sure that we have an international body that protects Indigenous peoples globally. That's what the IPA is for. And the IPA has all these various services. We can teach you how to start jurisdiction if you want to start a plebiscite and start a tribal jurisdiction in another geographical location. We can show you, or if it's here, because everybody doesn't have to be a part of ARNA, Inishiamu Tribal Government, or the Yamasee Creek operations that we have. You don't have to be a part of that. You could be a part of something completely different. We will guide you. A jurist will take you through all of those steps. The Constitution for the IPA is an international constitution. You could become an affiliate member. We do our political party operations through these vehicles. And so the IPA is very, very important. This is our extended family. And you can use this website to understand how those operations work, as the Indigenous Political Authority is our United Nations. And this is run by a board of jurists from the ARNA jurisdiction. All right. So very, very simple. We got some other websites here. When we come to Aboriginal Medical Association, and some of the other business operations that we have in the tribe. I'll just show the website briefly so you can see it and be familiar, because you have questions about nutrition and other things here, and you can go to these websites and get these questions answered. So you can go through and see all of the wonderful things that we have here as far as education. And of course, we have levels 1 through 4 certification with our Aboriginal University medical systems. And you can get involved with that and participate and learn about all of the fabulous things that we do in medicine. All right. The 28 minerals that you need in your body, the 16 cofactor vitamins, some of which are hormones like vitamin C and vitamin D3. All right. And the fact that we can make vitamin D3 from the sun, but some of us don't know, we still have the GULOP gene. Yes, we do. Go look up the GULOP gene, and they'll tell you, oh, yeah, humans can make vitamin C up to a certain point, but then this went dormant, and no, it's not. We can prove this. All right. We have proved it, actually. All right. So we have all types of diagnostics. We do the bioscans, the DNA methylation. This is a whole system of healing that we are returning to our community. And all we're saying to our community is get ready, the outer greater community, because we want an Aboriginal Medical Association all across the planet in every indigenous zone administering traditional techniques of healing and new advanced techniques of healing. All right. And so we have those things going on. All right, we got a lot of good stuff here. I'm just going through my notes and I'm saying, wow, this is interesting. All right, so let's go to some other very important things, because we have ARNA contracts online, family contracts. We have all of this very unique information that you as a student coming in to our jurisdiction will have to learn. For instance, our Constitution has 13 units, and you need to study that Constitution. Even though there's probably going to be some changes to it, the probable only change is that SOS and DOS will become the congressional body over the ministerial Congress. We are proposing that with one thing in mind. ARNA will never continue to thrive or survive without a heterosexual family as its basic unit. And we cannot have people who are not in heterosexual relationships operating in governance because they are missing vital factors of development. Also, because of the trend that's very subtle, also very direct in society, that is driving a wedge between the heterosexual family unit through manipulation of finances, psychology amongst men and women, the way that the curriculums are being steered towards anti-heterosexual family. All of this is a convergence point to drive people to want to be single, which is the most dangerous thing in thought process that can evolve in a society. And so we want to present to our people an opportunity for them to get an orientation into a governing body that requires the most important thing in creation for humans to do, which is a man and woman, or a man and women coming together successfully so that they can provide a governing system, family, so that they can hand down legacy to the next generation in a structure, order, and efficient way. If we're not doing that, then what are we doing? We are salivating in a matrix of confusion, deception, and delusion. It's not highly creative. It's not highly cultural. It's subtly devastating with an apparent level of false freedom. We are against that wholeheartedly. And so we have marriage contracts. You have access to an app that if you are national in good standing, you get access to this app. You can load it to your phone. You can record your monthly fasting. You can record your monthly PT tests, physical fitness tests. You can report a new courtship, a maintenance contract, a marriage, a break of any of those contracts. You can have a complete interactive system of notices of things that are going on, that you completed your monthly fast, that whatever else is going on, you completed. All right. We have 8 regions in ARNA, and those 8 regions are geographical only. Our goal is to get local jurisdictions started. And local jurisdictions can be started by 5 families or 10 people. It is of complete advantage to Black Americans to participate in this because the upside is unlimited progress. The downside is nothing. There's nothing dysfunctional that can happen by us getting together, knowing our lineage, genealogy, and identity, advancing heterosexual, healthy families, becoming entrepreneurial, having a business etiquette and indigenous business culture that we have developed ourselves. No one taught us this. Having a headquarters in Region 3. Headquarters used to be in Region 1 at Shaker Maxim in Philadelphia. We changed it to Region 3, Atlanta. And y'all know how hard it is to get Black people to work together. But we're breaking through the barrier, putting our resources together. We'll be out on Sunday on the farm, showing people how to acquire their land in their farm spaces properly. Exuding what it means to be she, which is a noble lineage, people of the tree. The tree represents the genealogy. We don't want to be anything like these other people. We want to have an etiquette. We have a dress etiquette in the rites of passage operations. Class A, Class B, Class C. All right? And that's normal dress, suit and tie dress, uniforms. That's for SOS and DOS structure. You have to recite your 12 general orders, which are in both manuals, to take charge of this post and all Aboriginal property in view. That's the first general order. What is it telling you? It's telling you we have a culture. And so some people don't join ARNA. They just join the IPA because they can get all the benefits and tax exemptions and all of those things because they don't want to live by that particular culture. Good. You want to be single? You don't ever want, just join the IPA. But you could join ARNA and be single. We can't make you be married to join ARNA. But if you're going to be on an SOS position and possibly function with passing laws, see, the passage of laws is to protect family. That's why we can't have a bunch of single people trying to pass laws. They don't understand yet. By taking command of their own life, what it is at the highest apex to be human. Highest apex of human is functional family. The 12 general orders there. We have a Jural Society for a reason, to solve problems. You can email the Jural Society, Shiamaru, juralsociety@gmail.com, ARNANJS.com. Let me go to the ARNA, the ARNA NJS website. ARNANJS.org. Here we go. Check it out. And I didn't show the app stuff yet, but you can that the app is for those in good standing and they already have those. All right. You can go here. NJS members, complaint form, appeal, Aboriginal most wanted. You need to know that these are the people in the past who have committed crimes. All right. There's a young lady who created a whole Shiamaru Republic. She went to court. She lost in court, our courts. She stole $29,000 from us. It's okay. We're not worried about that. We want the people to know who these people are. They're still out here. So we have a fee schedule, case records, friends of the court, basic procedure, the calendar, consultations, acts of parliament, public journal voting, and elections. with some guidance. So we thank Brother Ba'ak and all of the brothers and sisters over at NJS for keeping us structured and ordered and with the ability to handle disputes. You're going to have disputes as a people. It happens. It's a part of life. It's just something that is a part of life. All right. So let me remove this. All right. So we have elections every 4 years. All right. And that is important because we have to, the structure is more important than an individual. All right. We have 2 houses of government right now. Joe citing Ministerial Congress. We want the Ministerial Congress to turn to the SOS and DOS Congress. That's it. If that doesn't happen, then we just keep it as it is and function with it. If the people vote and say they think that's a better idea, then that's a better idea. All right. We have an entire structure, and it's about protection. We have in my department, we have a national investigation team. I keep those people not known. All right. But it's to ensure the moral code is being carried out. We have our own constitution. If you get a local jurisdiction needs their own constitution, but they need a charter first. All right. So we have this plethora of entities that are helping us run things, but the concept is more important. The concept is we need families in place to help institutional building. If your husband or your wife is a jurist and they work with the ARNA Aboriginal law firm, it's their duty to make sure that the national database has the people coming in appropriately. So in the past, before we changed regulations, we had people running law firms who were not reporting nationals. Nationals coming up from the indigenous of the North people way back in 2021. Like, hey, I'm not in the national database. Oh, you had a jurist who was not putting you there. All right. And so we got to make sure local, regional, and national jurisdiction are operating appropriately. We also got to make sure that we're giving our children private schooling. Not homeschooling. Homeschooling, you're using a term, legal term, that will put you in a particular jurisdiction. Private schooling. When we ran our school in Philadelphia, I was the principal. It's a private school. It changes how the donation works. It changes the jurisdiction that the children are under when they're doing those things. All right. So we want to make sure that we understand basic legal frameworks. We are working for autonomy with the Amaru tribal government structure, and we are working for BIA trust fund restitution paid to our Yamasee Confederation of the South, because we were the American Indians, the black folk in the South running everything. I'm talking about the whole systems and structures, the chocolate industry in the South, the marble industry with the quarries. We have the longest quarry in the world in Alabama. This is how we know we built the White House, because the White House has Alabama marble in it. Excuse me, U.S. Capitol. We still had control of it when they said they built it. We know they lied about that, but they're saying they built it in 1783. Bro, we didn't lose the Alabama quarry sites until after the War of 1812, around 1815. How was y'all getting the marble? All right. So we got to understand that this is telling a whole new story for us. And it's not just historical, it's the legal side of things. If you are an indigenous entrepreneur in the ARNA jurisdiction, you have 100% labor tax exemption. You get to keep all of your wealth. And we show you how to do that. All right? And we're doing it by a particular type of curriculum study. We have 12 councils in our system because of 12 polarities in nature, 12 systems in the human body. That act alone is showing the order of intelligence that we are doing. People say they love God. You don't love God, you actually follow God. And how you follow God is you follow God's book. God's book is the universe. I'm talking about the real intelligent creator of all things. We're not talking about someone's rendition or someone's propaganda to make you feel and believe. No, we're talking about the successful orientation with mind over matter and understanding that, oh, wait a minute, this reverence thing for the divine is different. It's supposed to be a part of your culture, not a part of your belief. And so we're doing dissertations so we can have people teaching who we trust. We study the Zulukin science so we can understand nature. So when you see a deck of cards and you understand Black people love spades, you start understanding Mayan quadration. That's why we love spades. Ain't nobody on earth playing spades like Black people. And at the top of the rank, you got the king of spades, the 8 of diamonds, and the king 10 of clubs. All behaviors super associated with the history of indigenous peoples. Put in symbol. We are studying the essence of human psychology and the order of operations in the universe. And so this is way beyond a Bible and the Quran, with the highest level of respect for those of you who have respect for those orders of knowledge. You need to come into ARNA so we can give you the anthropological conversation to show you there's nothing in Egypt or in the East that did not come from the West. Nothing. I'm talking about the study of astronomy, why they have a serpent in the Bible, and it was important for them to make that evil, how snakes and serpents are related to pheromones, and the ancient sciences in the West. Amaru, the constellation that never sets, the great serpent, the serpent mound, Amaru Mayu, which is the real place where you get the name America from, the Amazon River. That's the largest part of the Amazon River. Is called the Amaru, the serpent. Amaru Ka, Latinize it, America. So we're studying the pole stars and the universe because we're elevating our minds to understand that if we want to build business and be busy, we really need to understand another type of curriculum. And be champions in physics, chemistry, biology, law, politics, business etiquette, whatever it is that we're studying. And we're doing this simply from understanding the orientation of curriculum. We can take you to understanding the 4 elements of nature: fire, air, water, and earth, and understanding everything in the universe. And then we have people doing dissertations on these things. There are people that believe that trees take up carbon from the soil. Ty Lee is going to do a dissertation and show you, nope, they get it from the atmosphere. All the carbon in the plant comes from the air. This is a new way to look at photosynthesis. Plants take up water and minerals from the soil. They're not taking up no carbon. And the plant is 70% carbon. Other people eat all different kind of ways. Oh, you got the vegans and the plant-based people. In ARNA, we follow food science. We can show you the Dixon Mound studies where they had people who were 6 to 8 feet on the lower levels. And then they knew people come in on the top level and they're like 4 feet tall, 5 feet tall. And they're trying to figure out why these Native Americans are trying to stop anthropologists and archaeologists from testing these bones. They had a Native American, the NARA Act, the Eurasians. I'm talking about the Pretendians now. No disrespect, but they are that. They don't even want you to test the bones because it will show we had no lesions on our bones. Super duper dope vitamin D. We know black people bones are denser. We had all these people 7 feet tall, 8 feet tall. That's Shaquille O'Neal. That's Wembanyama. So we had a diet where we ate fruit, vegetation, and wild game. And when we ate grains, it was tiosete. It wasn't corn yet. It wasn't maize yet. It was the maize, the rice, and the wheat that caused people to get shorter. It affects the growth plates. But these were survival foods. So we know the history. So yeah, we're not following fake vegan trends. If we're eating some bison, yeah, we eat animals sometimes. We're not going to overeat it, but we understand our complex genetic structure and history. And we're not going to, change that. We're going to have an etiquette. You don't become a mother before you become a wife. Become a wife first, then a mother. You're teaching your daughters the wrong way. And when you have a safe structure at home, the home is where the children are learning. If they are passed on to be educated by other people, it's other people in the tribe. Or something that has value in the community that might not be a part of the tribe that we all recognize that has value. You're not going to get sex education outside of your home. Your parents are going to teach you that. And if we have a book like The Power of Sex that's a part of curriculum material, okay, that's still inside. We plan our children. So we're not pro-choice or pro-life. We plan our children. That is the utmost respect for the child and for the people who are already present. And so we have all these different ministries, the Ministry of Community Action and Family. Shout out to Brother Manuel Elbey and his family. We have people in these different and varying positions because they are there to enhance services for the community. And so we have to look at what our requirements are. We have some things that are requirements, some things that are not requirements. If you're going to get married, you need to have a counseling session, at least one, with the appropriate people, which would only be Community Action and Family or the cosmology department. The people who can guide you through those particular things. When you get married, you have to declare at the beginning whether you're monogamous or polygynous. You're not going to do it later. You're going to declare that so it's open and communicated at the beginning. You don't have to change your name. You could keep your family name. We've learned different things about the names. If you want to change your name, that's fine. If you don't have to. That's your family name. These people did not have no surnames or names at all. All these names are our names. But we do go through the appropriate steps to change our names. We have a tribal court. We make the changes there. We go to their court. We respect their court. And we're doing business in their jurisdiction. So we make the change over there. Now it's uniform. Now you are a national of the ARNA tribal government. That's your nationality. To be a national is to be a part of a jurisdiction, not just some, oh, I'm an Aboriginal American. Of what? Oh, I'm of Moorish descent. Of what? Oh, I'm an Indian. Of what? I'm a Native American. What are you? So we have to know these things. We gotta know what the Snyder Act is. You got all these people, birthright, citizenship. The 14th Amendment has nothing to do with us unless we consent to it having something to do with us. There are other citizenship clauses. We have a citizenship clause with the Indigenous Citizenship Act of 1924, called the Snyder Act, on condition that our tribal rights and property are protected. You violate that, we don't have to honor that contract. That's a contract. People say, oh, we just Americans. We not. Y'all don't know what y'all are because y'all don't have the integrity to set up a body of people to study something, to all peer review what you're saying. So we have very detailed process. When a national comes in, they get a stack of documents, 7 documents from their jurors to detail what their operations are. It takes order, and this is what we are presenting to the community. And we're going to hand this down to our children. We don't need all this spooky sovereign citizen. Are you a part of the Moorish Science Temple of America? This stuff is child's play. There are only 2 jurisdictions on this land: tribal governments, indigenous governments, and the United States of America, with its seat of government being the United States in DC. That's it. Do not play out here. You will get yourself in danger unnecessarily. We went through processes to do what we do. We have a plebiscite. We understood our bloodline and lineage. We understand the international law part. We have self-identified. We went through these processes to be organized. We're not a democracy. We're not a republic in the sense of how they understand it. We're an indigenous government. And so our whole process is to get you to study the website, look at this video, look at all these other things, and then get you in a position so that you can be in your purpose. That has to be developed through your hard work. To get you in your family, everybody wants to be a part of a family. Everybody is most successful when they're around loyal people that they can trust. We know how difficult it is with relationships and all of that. Like, we've been through it. Trust us. But now you're not on an island. Having a relationship on an island puts you in a weird place. Having it in a community takes that weirdness away. It gives you support. Your wife or mate or whatever, she's going to talk to sisters who are married or striving to be married now when she wants advice. Not to Bonquisha. Your man is not going to be talking to people over here. He's running around doing wild shit. He's talking to a brotherhood who is going to direct him to maintain himself as the guide of his ship. And this is the type of environment that we need. This is the type of environment we will continue to cultivate. And our education will continue to be the brightest light in the West. And all we're saying is when you come in, understand on what grounds you're coming in, understand that the greatest thing that you're offering is yourself to a group who will now respect the purpose that you're developing for yourself, your family, and then become a part of a community that can gradually, slowly build itself back up. I think people get frustrated when they think about the Black experience and they want this to happen and we need legislation and we need, yeah, we do. We need all of that. Cool. How are we going to get it? How are we going to get it from people who are unstable and who are not willing to put themselves through their proper initiation to re-enter into their indigenosity, to their indigenous mindset? Like putting on feathers and doing all that stuff that we did in the past, that doesn't, no, we are constantly evolving as a people. And in the year 15,112, 2026 on this fake calendar, what we're saying is we're not who we were 500 years ago or 1,000 years ago. We are the same lineage, but we have grown, and our jurisdiction is here to solve a problem, an identity problem amongst a people. And we think we have a very, very, very good footing and foundation for that. And all we want to do is continue to share that foundation. All right. So I am done with this first part of the orientation. You can use this video, though, to take your rights to passage exam. There will be more of these communications. Of course, you can go to the other YouTube websites and stay abreast with the social media and the different things that are going on in the community from the various people. Community is shaped by families. Families are busy doing things. Connect with families, and we can make our tribe the best. Thank you for your time. Peace.